Grab your clubs and start banging on the cave walls. Yoo-hoo, and thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review. This week we're talking about Trog, a film which, by some miracle, was able to get Joan Crawford to star in the lead role.
Poppycock. Insane nonsense.
This would be her very last movie before she retired from acting, and in my opinion, this is a pretty shameful way to end an acting career, because as much as it tries to look smart, Trog does the absolute opposite and becomes transcendently stupid. But just before we get going, if there's a bad movie you would like me to review, just leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and feelings on Trog.
I consider it a privilege to be here.
3 amateur explorers discover an unknown cave in the English countryside. As they go deeper and deeper, the cave also comes with a half-man, half-ape creature, which has been living down there for thousands of years, and he doesn't seem too kind. This catches the attention of Joan Crawford's character, an anthropologist, who inevitably wants to study the creature, but there is a bitter and evil businessman who will do anything to get rid of the monster, since it's attracting unwanted attention in the area and is going to compromise his business plans. A character who is, from the start, so obviously going to get killed. See? I told you. Considering this was directed by Freddie Francis, a cinematographer who was behind such classics like The Innocents, David Lynch's The Elephant Man, or the remake of Cape Fear with Robert De Niro, and with a cast of older actors who surprisingly do a good job, given the circumstances, it's surprising that Trog came out to be this terrible.
I'm still not impressed.
I think that people remember it for the look of the titular creature, which I think is one of the goofiest looking monsters in a horror movie ever.
To me, it looks like something out of a student's rag week.
Well, at least they're aware of it. The special effects team, if there even was one, wasn't even committed enough to make the ape mask match the actor's body skin. The guy's body's also completely shaved, which isn't very caveman-like to me. It's just a guy with an ape mask and a big wig on top. I was expecting Trog also to make ooga boonga sounds, like a real caveman, or at least more manly grunts. But here he's got a surprisingly high-pitched voice, which makes him sound like SpongeBob. Once Trog is captured, that's when the movie gets really fun. The film delivers nail-biting and blood-curdling sequences, which are not for the faint of heart. For example, will Trog learn how to throw a ball back? Ooh, will Trog learn how to dance to music?
Hey, somebody having fun?
There's this very weird scene where the scientists hook Trog up to some machine, which makes him have flashbacks from the past. We get transported back in time into another movie with stop-motion effects from Irwin Allen's The Animal World.
Wow. I never expected this.
Which is even more fantastic because, factually, dinosaurs had already been extinct for tens of millions of years before the first apes appeared on the planet. But let's just ignore that little fact.
Aren't you oversimplifying?
But that's not it, because things get even crazier.
But if the operation is successful, Trog will be able to talk.
Alright, now things are just getting ridiculous. Yeah, job well done. Inevitably, Trog is let loose and goes on a little rampage before taking the little girl hostage and being killed in his cave. It's funny how the story just switches tones all of a sudden. It went from a rather lighthearted story where Trog is bonding with his human scientist. The scientists are learning all sorts of new things and they may have even found the missing link. But all that was for nothing because it's just flushed down the toilet and turns into a run-of-the-mill Monster B movie.
All it amounts to is taxpayers' money down the drain.
That's one of Trog's countless problems. It just amounts to a bunch of meaningless nothing in the end. I'm wondering if director Tobe Hooper was a big Trog fan.
No doubt about that.
Because near the end, Trog impales a butcher on a meat hook, something which horror fans all know Leatherface would do the same thing again 4 years later, with one of his victims. So yeah, overall, stupid looking monster, boring story, silly characters, that's not a good combination. What an awful movie.